No.
Yeah. Yeah, Shiva, I replied. Okay, I responded. Okay. Okay, now let us continue. Okay, see, while creating any automation script, for every script, we should have to add the test script description. This is a test script description. And in this description, we should have these fields: test script name, and what is the description of that QTP test, and what repositories we are using, initiate repository files, and history details, who created this and when it is created, and what is the task we have done. After declaration, sorry, after description, we have to add declarations, variable declarations. After that, we have to add every step in the test case, whatever the step that we are going to automate in the test case should be added as a comment. All test case steps should be added as comments like this. See, this is our first step, launch flight application. And next step, verify login dialog is displayed. And next step, verify agent name text box, password text box are enabled. And next step, verify agent name text box and password text box are empty. And next, verify OK, cancel, and help buttons are enabled in the login dialog box. So these are all the steps we have to execute in this test case. So all steps in the test case, it is always better to add every step in the automation script as a comment first. After adding all the steps as comments, then you can start writing the script for all the steps. So in the first step, what we are doing here, we are invoking that flight reservation application. So this is a flight reservation application exe file path, and we are using invoke application statement to invoke Windows application. And next step, verify login dialog box is displayed. So this is the validation. So how we are automating this validation? By using exist method. Dialog of login dot exist of 10 seconds. That means if this dialog box is opened within 10 seconds, then this exist method returns true value. Then automatically the if condition will become true. Suppose if the dialog box is not opened within 10 seconds of time, then the exist method returns false value, and so that automatically the if condition becomes false. If this if condition is true, only then it will execute these steps. If this if condition is false, then automatically control will come to else part. So if this if condition is false, then it will run this statement, and if this if condition is true, then it will execute all these steps. Are you clear? So here the point is how we automated login dialog box is opened or not using exist method. That is what I want to highlight here. So exist method we have used. And the next one, how we automated the agent name and password text boxes are enabled or not. See, by default in the login dialog box, when we launch that login dialog box, the agent name text box, password text box should be enabled. Both are enabled. So I want to check that whether these two fields or text boxes are enabled or not. So how we automated that? How we can check that the agent name text box or password text box is enabled or not? By using check property method. In this check property method, we are passing three inputs. What is the first input? Enabled. What is this enable? It is a property name. It is an enable property. The enable property value will be true if this text box is enabled. This enable property value will be false if this text box is disabled. So what we are expecting? We are expecting this text box should be enabled. So this text box enable property value should be true. So in this check property method, the first argument we are defining property name, that is enabled, and the second argument we are defining expected value for that enable property. What is the value we are expecting? True means 1, or we can give true. 1 also we can use for true value. So 1 I am passing. And what is this third argument? It is timeout, waiting timeout, maximum waiting timeout. How much time you want to wait in case the agent name text box enable property is not matching with this expected value, then I want to wait for 10,000 milliseconds. That is the waiting time. So similarly, for password text box, we are checking again using check property method, and we are checking enable property with expected value 1 and within 10,000 milliseconds. And the same way, and here we are checking that agent name and password text boxes are empty. That means the value in agent name text box and password text box should be empty. So how we are checking the text box value here? So we are checking the text box value again by using check property method. So using check property method, here we are checking text value, text property. The text property should be empty. See here I am passing the expected value as empty, two empty double quotes I have defined as expected value, and it is a waiting time 10,000 milliseconds. And similarly in the password text box also the text value should be empty. So again we are using check property method, and the text property we are checking with expected value empty. All of you clear how we verified, how we automated text box enable or disabled or text box value, how we automated by using check property method? So what is this check property method is? The check property method is check property method is verification statement. It is a verification statement. What it will do? Called checkpoint. It is also called checkpoint. It verifies actual value, actual property value with expected property value and reports the status in the result file. So it will do two actions. The checkpoint will do two actions. So what is the first action? It compares or verifies the actual property value with expected value. After comparing, it will report pass or failed status in the result file. It reports the status. The status will be either pass or fail in the result file. So here this statement, check property statement, is verifying or is comparing actual value with expected value. So what is the expected value in this statement? In this check property statement, yeah. So what is the expected value and what is the actual value in this check property statement? In this check property statement, enabled is a property, and what is the one? One is expected value for that property. And where is the actual value? The actual value will be captured at the time of running this script. At the time of running this statement, QTP captures enable property value from the application. That is called actual value. Understand? At the time of running this statement, QTP captures enable property value for this agent name text box from the application, and that is called actual value, and that actual value will be compared with expected value defined in the second argument. And if these two values are same, then it will report pass status in the result file. And in case If that actual value is not matching with this expected value, then QTP will wait for 10,000 milliseconds. If still these two values are not matching within 10,000 milliseconds, then QTP reports failed status in the result file. And also, this check property statement returns. What is the value it returns? The check property statement returns true or false. If this verification is passed, then this statement returns true. If the verification is failed, then it returns false. All of you clear? So the check property statement returns true or false. Check property statement or method, I can say. Method returns true or false value. When it returns true value, returns true if the verification is passed. If the verification is passed. Otherwise, returns false. Are you clear? What is the check property statement? It is very important statement, check property statement. So this is a statement we can use to automate many verifications. Almost many verifications can be automated by using this check property statement in QTP. All of you clear, guys, up to here? Exist method and check property method. Where to use exist method? To verify whether any object or any window or any web page or any dialog box or any field is displayed or not. If you want to verify, then we can use this exist method. And when we can use check property method, the check property method will be used to verify a single property of any object. If you want to verify any property value of any object, then we can use this check property method. See, exist method simply returns true or false, and this exist method cannot report any status in the result file. The exist method just simply returns true or false. It won't report pass status or failed status in the result file. So that's why we are reporting the pass status in the result file by using a reporter statement. By using a reporter.report event, we are reporting pass status in the result file because the exist method doesn't report automatically in the result file. That's why we have added here a separate statement, reporter.report event, to report this validation. See, inside this if condition, we are checking one verification. Whether this verification is pass or failed should be reported in the result file. But this exist method cannot return that status in the result file automatically. So that is the reason we are adding here a reporter.report event statement to report this verification status in the result file. Suppose if this if condition is false, then we are reporting here failed status in the result file. But if you come to check property statement, the check property statement is a checkpoint. That means it will verify, it will execute the verification, and also will report the status in the result file automatically. So we no need to write any reporter.report event statement if you are using check property statement, because this check property method will automatically report the status in the result file. Understand the difference between exist and check property? All of you clear? And after this, the next validation that we have seen in the last session, what is it? Verify drop-down list selected value. How to automate what is the value is selected in the drop-down list. And one more thing, if you want to verify what values are displayed in the drop-down list, the values displayed in the drop-down list, I want to verify. So how we can do that? How we can automate drop-down list values? So for that we have seen this. We have created one more separate script. What is that script? This one. fly from value is not listed in fly 2. So in this application, there is one business requirement. What is that requirement? You click new button and enter data flight value, some future date. Future date, and select here from fly from Denver. So whatever the value that we selected in the fly from drop down list should not be displayed in the fly to list box. See that Denver should not be there here. Denver should not be there because Denver is selected in the fly from. Similarly, if I select here Frankfurt, the Frankfurt should not be listed here. See Denver displayed now. Now Frankfurt should not be displayed here. There is no Frankfurt value. Are you clear? Like that, whatever the value you selected in the fly from list box, that value should not be displayed in the fly to, because it is not possible to book a flight ticket from London to London. It should not allow, application should not allow that to book a flight ticket from London to London. So that is a business rule. So as per this business rule, the value that we selected in the fly from drop down list should not be displayed in the fly to list box. See, London is not displayed here. London is not displayed. So this is a business rule that should be implemented in this application. So I want to automate this test case to check that fly from value is not displayed in the fly to list box. So how we can automate this one? See, it is not a direct validation. See, whatever the validations that we have seen by using exist method and check property method, these are direct verifications. That means if you want to verify any object is enabled or not, we have a property, enable property. So by using that property, we can verify that easily. Similarly, to verify that the value displayed in the text box, then we have a property called text. So by using the text property and using check property method, we can directly verify that value. But this validation is not a simple and direct validation verification. See how we can do this verification? London value should not be displayed in this drop down list. What we have to do? First read the value. What value is selected in the fly from list box? London. Now you check that all the items, we have to verify all items in this fly to drop down, whether this item is equal to London. The first item, Denver, it is not equal to London. Then go to second item. The second item is London? No. Third item, it is also not London. Fourth item, it is also not London. Fifth item, it is also not London. Like this, we have to verify all the items in that fly to drop down list one by one. And we have to make sure that all items are not equal to London. That means there is no London displayed in the fly to list box. Like this, we have to verify all the items in the fly to one by one. We have to compare each item in the fly to drop down list with the London value. Understand? If this London value is not matching with any of the items in the fly to list, then we can say that the fly from value is not displayed in the fly to list. Is it right? Suppose if the London is matching with any one of these items, what does that means? London is displayed in the fly to list box. That is means the business rule is failed here. Business rule is not implemented correctly. So it is a defect. Understand? So let us see that how we automate it in our script. So first what we are doing? We are clicking new order button, first step. After that, enter data flight, valid data flight. It is valid data flight, MMDDYY format. And then select fly from value. What value I want to select? Paris I want to select. So what I'm doing here, I assign that Paris to some variable, s fly from. So this variable is declared here using dim statement, dim s fly from. And whatever the value that you want to select in the fly from drop down list, that value is assigned to this variable. and then we are selecting fly from value. After that, verify the fly from value. That means I want to check that Paris is selected or not in the fly from list box. That validation I want to do. What is the value we selected in the fly from list? That I want to verify. So how we can verify that? How we can verify selected value in the drop down list? There is a property called selection property. What is the selection property? Contains the value which is selected in the drop down list. That value is assigned to this selection property. So we have to verify this selection property. The selection property value should be Paris. So that is nothing but variable, fly from variable. Understand? So here I am checking the drop down list selected value by using check property method and selection property. We are checking here. If this selection property should be Paris. If the selection property is equal to Paris, that means Paris is selected in the drop down list. That means verification is passed. If the verification is passed, what is the value this check property method returns? True value it returns. If this check property returns a true value, since we have written this statement, check property statement, entire statement inside if condition. Look at that. This whole statement is written inside if condition. So this check property statement returns a true value if this selection verification is passed. If this method returns a true value, then automatically if condition becomes a true. Understand? That means whatever the value that you want to select in the fly from drop down list, that value is correctly selected. Then this if condition will become true. If it is true, then I want to run all these statements inside this if condition. So inside this if condition, now what we are doing, verify that the fly from value, whatever the value is selected in the fly from list box, is not listed in the fly to list. So here what we are doing first, see that I am getting items count. I am getting a fly to drop down list items count by using get items count method. So this method will be displayed automatically. If you simply type a dot here, then you can get items count. That is the method we selected, get items count. So this method returns number of items in this drop down list, and that value is assigned to one variable, I count variable. So that variable is declared here. It is an integer value, number of items it returns. So that's why I'm using here I prefix to count variable, I count. And one more variable I'm defining here, be item found. See, before starting the searching, see, I want to find, I am searching for Paris item in the fly to list. The Paris is the value we selected in the fly from drop down list. The same Paris item should not be displayed in the fly to. So in the fly to list, we are searching for Paris item that should not be found. So initially, before starting the searching, I am declaring one variable, boolean variable, be item found, and that variable is assigned with false. That means item is not found initially. Before starting the search, I assign this value to false, be item found equal to false. Then inside this for loop, I am adding here for loop. For what purpose we are adding for loop? See, first we are getting number of items in the combo box. So we have to verify all the items in the drop down list. So that items count we are getting into this variable. So we are adding this for loop to verify each and every element. Suppose if I count value is equal to 5, then 5 items should be verified. That means we have to do that verification. We have to execute that verification 5 times for each item once. So that's why we are adding here for loop to execute 5 times if there are 5 items. If there are 10 items, this for loop should run 10 times. Understand? And one more thing, each list item has index number. Inside the drop down list, there are multiple items, right? And each item has one index number, like array values, like array items. In the array, what is the first item index number? 0, right? Similarly, in the list box items also, for each list box item there is one index number. The first list item index is 0, the second list item index is 1, like that. For each item in the drop down list there is one index number. That index number begins with 0, so I am defining here that one 0 to I count minus 1. 0 is the first element, first item index number. What is I count minus 1? This is the last item index number in the drop down list. You got my point? 0 is the first
Sir,
in, yeah.
B item found equal to false. Can't we, uh, is there any significance we are putting false? Can't we put true? B items found equal to true. Then can't we use this for loop?
Yeah, we can use it. Say it's here, say this B item found value, we can use define whatever you want. Even I can define true also. If I
Okay.
define here true, then I have to change it here false.
Oh,
Then here I have to change it here inside this if condition.
okay, okay. No
See,
significance there. We
yeah,
can do
that's it.
anything.
Yeah, we can use anything. That's not the matter. But why we are using false? It is some. It makes sense. See, the searching will be started in the for loop. Correct? Before for loop,
Yes.
we are looking for some element. We are looking for some item in the fly to list. What is that item? We are looking for Paris item. That item search is not yet started, so we don't know that item is displayed or not in the drop down list. So just we are assuming that that item is not displayed here. That's why I'm setting
Okay.
here B item found as a false. As you said, we can also assign here true also, not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. Now that means this for loop, inside this for loop we are using item numbers, list items index numbers. The starting index number of first item 0, the last list item index number is I count minus 1. Then here what I'm doing here inside that for loop, I'm getting that item, get item using this index number, using this statement get item statement, drop down list dot get item of index number. I is nothing but index number here. So using that index number we are getting that list item into this variable s item variable. So here I defined one more variable s item. Once you get that item into this variable, then this item we have to verify this item with our expected item. Are you clear? So this item and fly from is our expected item and it is the actual item. So these two we are comparing. How we are comparing? By using string comparison method. And this string comparison method returns 0 if these two items, if these two strings are same. Otherwise it returns other than 0. That is what I'm using here. So when this if condition will be true, if this string and if this string, these two strings are same, then this if condition will be true. Is it right?
Yes.
This string and this string, if these two strings are same, then only this method returns 0. Only then this if condition will be true. Is it right? So that means if these two strings are same, what does that means? That means Paris is displayed in the first item. Correct. That means Paris is displayed in the list box. So then immediately what I'm doing, I'm changing this flag variable B item found is equal to true. That means the item which we are looking for is displayed, is found in the drop down list. So I'm setting this flag to true. And I want to stop that for loop execution. So we are using exit for loop to stop that for loop execution, because the item for which we are looking for is displayed and is found in the first position itself. So I don't want to verify second, third, or fourth items, because first item itself matching with our expected item. Is it right? So we no need to verify the remaining items. So we can stop this for loop execution by writing exit for loop. And after that for loop, what we are doing, we are checking this flag variable. If this flag variable is equal to false, what does that means? Item is not found. If this flag variable is equal to true, what does that means? That item is found in the drop down list. So if this variable is equal to true, then automatically this if condition will be true. If this variable equal to false, then automatically this if condition will be false. Understand? When this variable flag variable will be true, if that item is found. If that item is found, what is the status? Verification status? Fail or pass? It should be fail. What we are expecting, that item should not found. That is what we are looking for. But that item is found in the fly to list. Then we are reporting failed status. If this variable flag variable is equal to false, that means the item which we are looking for is not found in the fly to list drop down. Then this variable flag will be false. Then if this variable is equal to false, then if condition will be false, then it will execute this statement and it will report pass status in the result file. All of it clear? See, the verification is very simple. One simple verification it is in the test case. What is that verification? Just to verify that the fly from drop down list value is not displayed in the fly to list. That is what we have to verify. But this verification, one single step, how many lines of code we have written for this one validation? See, sometimes some validations really will be complex like this. We need to write multiple lines of code sometimes. Some validations we can finish in one line, like check property method. In the previous script you have seen, we have used check property method. See, this is also one verification, is it right? It is also one verification, check property method. But this verification is completed in one line. But this validation, see, this validation we have done in single statement, that is check property statement. But this verification, for this verification, see, we have written these many lines of code. These are the lines of code we have written to automate this single validation step. Understand? So like that, sometimes, right, you can find complex verifications in the test case. Then we have to think that logic, how we can verify that condition in the script, what properties we can use or what methods we can use. We have to find that first. See here, first one, to verify that, first what we are doing, we are getting items count in the fly to by using get items count method. Once you get number of items in the drop down list, then we have to verify each item one by one. So we should read each item value one by one. So how we are getting each item? By using get item method. By using this get item method, and inside that method we are passing index number of that item. First time I value is 0, that means it returns the first item value into this variable. And this value we are comparing with the fly from value. If both are same, then we are setting this flag variable as true and we are stopping the execution. Suppose if this item is not matching with the fly from, then we are going to for loop again. I value becomes 1. That means this statement returns second item into this variable. Now here we are comparing second item with the fly from. If it is also not matching, then again for loop will go. I value will be incremented by 1. Now I value become 2. Now this statement returns third item value into this variable. Now again we are comparing here third item with the fly from. So like this, the loop will be repeated for all the elements, for all the items in the drop down list one by one, until that fly from value is matching with any one of the item or all items are verified. If that item is matching with any of the current item, then we are stopping that execution immediately, and then we are checking that whether item is found or not. If this item is found, then we are reporting failed status. If item is not found, then we are reporting pass status in the result file. All of you clear? See, for example, I want to select here London. I want to select here London, and I want to verify that London is not displayed in the fly to drop down list. Okay, let me run the script now with the London value. Sorry, there are two windows are opened. It's not running. I have opened two windows. It is launching the application and it is running login also. It is launching and it is opening the flight reservation window and it enters data flight and fly from. Then it verifies flight to. See, now it is passed. The London, whatever the value we selected, is not listed in the flight to. It is passed. Left you clear how we automated this validation, how we have written multiple lines of code to automate this one small validation in the drop down list. Any questions guys here in this? You have any queries? No queries? So everybody is clear? Shiva, Subbarao, Chandu, Chari, all of you clear? You have any doubts in this validation code? How we have written this code to automate this validation? Yeah, okay. Now let us go to the next validation, next type of verification. See, we covered here this one. Okay, verified drop down list value. See how we verified here. Verify example. This is the example we have automated here. We can refer that code how we automated this validation. And now see that fifth validation, checkbox validations. How to automate checkbox verifications. So generally in the checkboxes, what kind of verifications we will be automating? You will be checking in the test cases whether checkbox is selected or not, or whether checkbox is enabled or disabled, or checkboxes exist or not. These are the three different types of validations generally we used to execute on checkboxes. Is it right? So we already know that checkbox existence, we can do that by using exist method, correct? And checkbox enable or disabled, how we can verify that? By using check property method, correct? So for example, let me take here, is there any checkbox here? In this window there is no checkbox. Now click OK button. See here, I'm clicking open button here in this flight description window. I'm clicking open button. In this open button there are three checkboxes. So in this open order dialog box, I want to check that these three checkboxes are enabled and not selected by default. By default, these three checkboxes are not selected. All of you clear? And enabled. That is one validation. And one more thing, okay, forget about all these two. I want to verify only order number checkbox is enabled and not selected. That is one validation. And one more validation, this order number text box is disabled. Look at that. For example, if I want to create a script to verify the initial state of this open order dialog box, what validations we have to automate? We have to check these three checkboxes should be enabled. And next one, this text box and this text box and this OK button should be disabled. And the flight date and the cancel button should be enabled. Are you clear? These are the validations that we have to verify inside open order dialog box. When we opened initially, what is the initial state of open order dialog box fields? That is what I want to verify now. See that I'm going to write here. I'm going to create a new save as of script number 4. What is that? Verify open order initial state. I want to verify open order initial state. Initial state I want to check. This is my script name. Copy that, save it. Done. Now I'm going to modify the script name. And what it will verify? Verify open order dialog box, verify fields initial state in open order dialog box. All of it clear? That is the test case. Now we are going to automate. It is 14. Done. Now what are the steps we have to automate here? First we have to see here what is this run action statement. Simply it is calling login action from some other QTP script. We already create one login action, and that login action we are running here to launch the application. After that, what we are doing? So declaration should be always first. So I will write here. Declarations first. Okay. Now let me remove this all declarations. I am removing all declarations variables because in this script we don't know what declarations are required. Let us say that. Run login action. That is what this step is doing. After running the login action, what we have to do? We have to click not new order button. See, I am showing you the steps here. First launch this application, then click open button. Then it opens open under dialog box and verify that open under dialog box is opened. That is one validation. If it is opened, then verify that these checkboxes are enabled and unselected, and verify that customer name, order number text boxes are disabled, and flight date is enabled, and OK button is disabled, cancel button is enabled. So this is the initial state of fields in this open order dialog box. So that is what I want to verify. So for that I am writing step by step. First step, run login action. So it will launch that application. Click open order button. Click open order button. That is the first step. So this step is not open order button. After clicking open order button, what we have to do? Verify open order dialog is displayed. We have to do one validation here. All of it clear? Let me remove everything. Then what is the next step? Verify what are the three checkboxes? Customer name, date of flight, and order number checkboxes. Checkboxes are enabled and unselected, not selected. That is one validation. And next one, verify customer name, date of flight, order, customer name, order number. In that data flight is not enabled. Verify these two text boxes are disabled. Are they clear? And verify data flight text box is enabled. Only this text box should be enabled. Text box is enabled. And next what we have to verify? Verify OK button is disabled. And one more verification, verify cancel button is enabled. All of it clear? So these are all the validations that we have to check in the open order dialog box to check the initial state of open order dialog box. Now first step, what we have to do? We have to add these objects. First open order button should be added into the repository file. First let us add objects into the repository file. What is the repository file? Flight.tsr. There's a shared repository file. Open that flight.tsr file and not in read only mode. Unselected checkbox. Now click open order button. Add that and modify that object name. btn underscore open order is the button name. So once you click the open order button, then it opens open order dialog box. So add objects in this dialog box. This checkbox, customer name checkbox. So rename that with the prefix chk. It is a checkbox, and remove this. Okay. Next, add this flight date checkbox. chk flight date checkbox. Okay. So the next one, add order number checkbox. chk order number checkbox. Now similarly add all other text boxes. Text box. What is this text box? Customer name text box. txt underscore customer name. Customer name. And next add flight date. It is a win object. Look at that. It is not a text box. So I will define obj flight date. Flight date. See, the class is win object here. It is not a win edit. If it is a win edit, it is a text box. I can define txt prefix. Since it is a win object, I am defining here obj as a prefix. And order number text box. txt order number. Done. Next, OK button. Add OK button. btn. Next, add cancel button. So we have added all the objects, all objects inside that open order dialog box. Save it. We have added all objects from that open order dialog box. Let me change this dialog box name as well. DLG. It is open order dialog box. Okay, then leave it. Okay, and save it. Save that room. All of you clear? I want to verify all these objects state. So I have added all the controls from this open order dialog box into shared repository file. Now what is the next step? Drag and drop. What is the first step? Click open order button. So drag and drop that open order button. Where is that open order button? Object inside flight distribution window, that is here, this one. Drag and drop that. Done. Now verify that. First, before that, we have to verify one more validation. Verify. Oh, sorry. Already added. It is already added. And this step should be above here. Click open order button. After that, what do we have to verify? Verify that open order dialog is displayed. So drag and drop that dialog box. It is a dialog box. Drag and drop that. And how we can verify that whether this dialog box is displayed or not? By using exist method. Write exist method. And I want to give some time, 10 seconds waiting time. Then if it is displayed, only then we can execute all these verifications. If this open order dialog box is not displayed, then we cannot execute all these validations. So we have to add here if condition. If condition. Then if this verification is passed, then only run these steps. If this verification is failed, then skip all these steps execution and report failed status in the result file. So I should write here else after end of the all the steps. All of you clear? If this open order dialog box is open, only then we can execute these validations. If an open order dialog box is not opened, we cannot execute all these verifications and we have to report failed status. So we have to skip these steps execution if this open order dialog box is not displayed. If open order dialog box is not displayed, then this if condition will be false, because this exist method returns false value. So automatically the if condition becomes false, then automatically control will come to else part. It won't execute all these steps. All of you clear? In case if this open order dialog box is opened, then I want to run all these validations and I want to report pass status for this validation. Reporter dot report event mic pass. What we are verifying here? Verify open order dialog is open or is displayed. Yes, it is displayed. Open order dialog is displayed. Dialog is opened. Okay, so that is the actual result that we got, and it is passed. Once it is passed, then I want to execute this verification. What is this verification? Customer name, date of flight, not date of flight, flight date. Okay, flight date and order number checkboxes are enabled and unselected. Now let us see that. Drag and drop all checkboxes. First checkbox, customer name, next flight date, and next order number. Done. These three checkboxes are dragged and dropped here. So default method, it is showing set method. When we can use set method, if you want to select or unselect the checkbox, then we use this method, set method. But what we want to execute now on this checkbox, we want to execute some validation. What is that validation? The first validation, the checkbox should be enabled. So how we can check that one? Using check property method. Check property method. And what is the property? Enabled. And what is the value? 1. We are expecting that checkbox should be enabled. So 1 should be our expected value. And 10,000 milliseconds. Or even not 10,000. Just give some 5,000 milliseconds. 5 seconds only I want to wait. So same statement we have to copy for all checkboxes to verify 3 checkboxes are enabled or not. Just copy and paste it. Same thing. So what we are checking here? We are checking these 3 checkboxes are enabled or not. Now how we can verify this checkbox is selected or unselected? We have to verify that checkbox should be unselected. All of you clear? The checkbox should be unselected. I want to verify. That means one more validation we have to do on the same checkbox. One verification we have automated, that is enabled. And what is second validation? That should not be selected. That is what we want to verify. So for that, what is the property we have to verify? Let us see that. What is the property we can use to verify that this checkbox is selected or not? So open Object-SPY to see the properties. Select that checkbox, any checkbox. So for this checkbox, what properties are available? Look at that. There is a property called checked. What is a checked value? Off. Off means unselected. If the checkbox is selected, see, look at that. If I select this checkbox, and then if you spy that object, what is a checked property value? See that, on. That means the checked property value will be for off or on. If the checkbox is selected, the checked value property value will be on. If the checkbox is unselected, the checked property value will be off. So by using this property value, we can verify whether the checkbox is selected or unselected. All of you clear? So what is the property we have to use here? Now copy this, all 3 statements. Now only property value name will be changing. Not enabled, checked. What is the expected value? Off. OFF, off. It is capital letter. See, we should be careful. However it is displayed, the value, it is displayed in off as capital letters. Off, all letters are capital. So we should pass all letters as capital. Okay. So now you can copy this property for 3 statements. All of you clear? So we have written 6 statements here. That means for each validation, we have written one statement. One check property statement. See, for the same customer name checkbox, we are checking 2 validations. For the same customer name checkbox. See that, let me take that into together. Control X. All of you clear? For the same customer name checkbox, we are checking 2 validations. What are those 2 validations? Enabled validation and unselected validation. And similarly, It is for second checkbox. It is for third checkbox. Okay, this is for customer name checkbox, customer name checkbox, and this is for flight date checkbox, flight date checkbox, and this is order number checkbox, order number checkbox. All of you clear? Now similarly, let us complete other validations code as well. We have to verify customer name and order number text boxes are disabled. So drag and drop customer name and order number text boxes. Customer name text box, this is the text box, drag that. And what is the next one? Order number text box, this one. Both should be disabled. So what is the property we have to use? Same check property method, and the same enable property. But what is the expected value? 0. 0 is our expected value now, because we are expecting this customer name checkbox text box should be disabled. Disabled means enable property value should be false. That means 0. If enable property is true, what does that means? Object is enabled. If enable property is false, what does that means? That object is disabled. All of you clear? So here we are automating. It is disabled. Done. These two text boxes are disabled. And what is the data flight object? Should be enabled. Data flight object, this one. Drag and drop this. Again copy same thing. Enable property. Done. Clear guys? This data flight object, text box object should be enabled, and these two text boxes should be disabled. And what is that? OK button should be disabled. Again copy OK button, drag and drag, and it should be disabled. Disabled means expected value should be 0. So I'm copying it here. Expected value should be 0 because we're expecting that should be disabled here. And similarly, cancel button should be enabled. So cancel button is enabled. So expected value should be 1 now here. Guys, clear? So I have done here all validations scripted. All of you clear now? Let me run this. Let us run this. Cancel this. I am running the script. Save the script. I'm going to run this. What is it? Some validation is failed in OpenOrder. See, look at that. How many validations we are doing in OpenOrder dialog box? Customer name. It is what verification it is? Enabled. It is passed. Next validation. Unselected. It is off. It is also off. Expected value is off. Actual value also off. Pass. Similarly, flight date enabled, and the flight date off. Unselected. And order number checkbox enabled. Order number checkbox selected value, checked value, and the text box customer name text box is disabled. See, it is disabled. Enable value is 0. Expected value is 0. So it is disabled. So both are right. And order number text box, it is also disabled. And this one, it should be enabled, right? It is right, correct, right? Enabled. And why it is failed? Oh, okay. Right, correct only, right? Value is false. It is not enabled. Okay, maybe. Guys, it is not enabled here. Still that object is not enabled. See that? We are not able to enter the value here. Only once you select that, only then it will be enabled. But it looks like a background color in white, but that is not enabled. This flight date text box is not enabled now. All of you clear? But the background color they put it as a white because they have added here some characters inside the text box, special characters, underscore, slashes are there. That's why it is shown with the background color white, but this text box is not enabled. So that's what but we are expecting enabled here, but it is not enabled. That's why it is showing. See, actual value is false. Look at that here. Actual value is false, but expected value is 1. 1 means true. Actual value is false, but expected value is true. Both are not matching. That's why it is failed. This validation is failed. So I can modify that validation to false. What is that validation? Data flight also should be disabled. Then I can make it here simply. Yeah, 1 second, Shiva, coming. So it should be also disabled. It should be disabled, not enabled here. Yeah. Yes, Shiva, what is your query? We have to check, like, if the checkbox is selected, then it should be enabled. No, I'm not getting, Shiva. What is your query? See, if you want to see here, checkbox is enabled or disabled. That is separate validation. Understand? And similarly, checkbox is
yes, sir. That is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, that is actually a separate validation. But here for flight date, if you check the checkbox, then the field is enabled, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. If you select this checkbox only, it is enabled.
Yeah. Even that also we have to check.
If required, suppose in the test case, if you have to execute that validation also, then you have to automate that, right?
Okay.
See, we are just simply automating the steps whatever they have defined in the test case. Correct.
Yeah, yes.
See, for example, if I see, look at that. If you select this checkbox, then only this order number text box has become enabled. Look at that. If you unselect that, it is disabled. Yes, this is the one validation that we have to test it, right, in the application. So definitely this validation will be covered in some test case. Then definitely while automating that particular test case, then you should automate this validation as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now what we have to understand here, see, if you look at here, checkbox, customer name checkbox, how many validations we are executing here? For customer name checkbox, 2 validations, 2 verifications. One verification is that checkbox is enabled, and the second verification is that checkbox is unselected. Is it right? Similarly for flight date, and similarly for order number. Correct. Now we have written separate statement for each verification here. For enabled verification, we have written one check property statement. For not selected verification, we have created one more statement. Now in QTP, we have an option called checkpoint. In that standard checkpoint, there is one checkpoint in QTP, standard checkpoint. Using that standard checkpoint, we can verify more than one property. See, by using this check property statement, how many properties we can verify at a time? Only single property can be verified at a time using check property method. But in QTP or in UFT, we have one checkpoint that is called standard checkpoint. Using that standard checkpoint, we can verify more than one property in one checkpoint statement, in a single statement. So now I will see that. We will see that one first. That means we can replace these 2 statements with one statement by using standard checkpoint. Statement. What is a standard checkpoint is? We can verify multiple properties of any object. Using check property statement, we can verify a single property of any object. By using standard checkpoint, we can verify more than one property. Multiple properties can be verified for any object at a time. We no need to write for every property. We no need to write a separate statement. We can club all the properties. For example, for this customer name checkbox, I want to verify 3 properties. First property is enabled. Second property, it should be unselected. All of you clear? So I want to verify these 2 properties for the same object. for the same customer name object. Is it right? So how can we use here standard checkpoint? Let us see that. How can we use standard checkpoint? So that is one thing. Like this also we can write the code, but unnecessarily it is increasing the lines of code, right? But we have some facility in QTP. By writing or by adding a single statement, we can be able to verify multiple properties at a time by using standard checkpoint. Let us say that generally in the real-time projects, right, we don't use these standard checkpoint, these things very frequently. But let us see how to use that standard checkpoint, how to create that standard checkpoint. The first point is, it's a very important point, when we can use the standard checkpoint. Okay, first let me create this small document. Checkbox validation. How to checkbox validation, whether checkbox is selected or not, how we can check that one. Checkbox selection can be verified by using selection property. Sorry, not selection, checked property, right? Checked property. All of it clear? In check property method, that is not a matter. So by using this property, we can verify whether checkbox is selected or unselected. All of it clear here? Okay, now let us see here one more important point. Standard checkpoint. See here, check property is also called checkpoint. Check property is also called checkpoint. But this checkpoint is not a standard checkpoint. It is simply a simple checkpoint, this one. All of it clear? And this standard checkpoint, what is a standard checkpoint is, using standard checkpoint, we can verify multiple properties of any object. Are you clear? Let us say that how to create this standard checkpoint. Where we are going to use it here, in the place of these two statements. For customer name checkbox, I want to verify two properties. What are those two properties? Enabled and checked property we want to verify. So how we can use here, in the place of these two statements, how we can insert, how we can use standard checkpoint here. Just you place the cursor here wherever you want to insert that standard checkpoint. You place the cursor at that location in the test panel, and then go to insert. See, in the insert menu, first option checkpoint. Look at that. There are different types of checkpoints are there. We will see one by one. All these checkpoints are disabled except two checkpoints. When these checkpoints will be enabled, only during the recording, these checkpoints will be enabled only during the recording. So we have to click record button to use or to create standard checkpoint. Click record button, normal recording, and go to insert. See, now all checkpoints are enabled. Now first select standard checkpoint option. Standard checkpoint. Now you select the object. For which object you want to verify more than one property? I want to verify for customer name checkbox. For this checkbox, select the checkbox. Okay. See, it displays checkpoint properties window. Checkpoint properties window. In this window, first we have to define checkpoint name. What is the name of the checkpoint? What is its name? Customer name checkbox. Customer name checkbox. Customer name CHK. I have defined, that is the name of the checkpoint. After defining the name of the checkpoint, then it displays a list of the properties. What properties we can verify for this object, and what properties you want to verify. You can select those properties. See, I want to verify these two properties. See, automatically selected by default. We can unselect and we can select whatever you want. See, I want to select these two. I want to verify these two properties. What is the first property? Enabled. And second property, checked. What is the expected value for enabled? I'm expecting that checkbox should be enabled. So enable value should be true. So here you can change that value to true or false. If you are expecting that checkbox should be disabled, then you should select here false. But I am expecting that checkbox should be enabled, so select here expected value as a true. All of you clear? Select the property, and next step, define expected value for every property, for each property. For this enable, what is my expected value? True. And similarly select check property. For this check property, what is my expected value? Off. I am expecting that checkbox should be unselected. Suppose if you are expecting that checkbox should be selected, then I have to pass here on. Since I am expecting that checkbox should not be selected, then the expected value should be off. All of you clear? So in this constant text box, we have to define expected value for the selected property. Done? So like this, select the properties and define the corresponding expected values for all the selected properties. And finally define waiting timeout. Say it is a timeout in seconds. I want to wait for 5 seconds in case if any property is not matching. See, when this checkpoint will be passed, see in this checkpoint we are verifying two properties, checked and enabled. See, all the properties whatever we selected in this checkpoint should be passed. Only then the checkpoint will be passed. Even if any one property is not matching with the actual value, then the checkpoint will be failed. So all selected properties should match with the actual values and expected values. If any property is not matching, then the verification, the total checkpoint will be failed. All of you clear? That's it. Click OK button. Now let me take this snapshot. See how to create this standard checkpoint? Just first you have to record it. First step, click record button. Without recording, the checkpoint option will not be enabled. Click record button. Then select in insert menu, checkpoint. In checkpoint, select here standard checkpoint option. Clear? Then it displays checkpoint properties window, correct? Checkpoint properties window will be displayed. Window displayed. Okay. Then what we have to do inside this window? Define checkpoint name. That is the first step. Checkpoint name. Next step, select properties to verify. What properties you want to verify? What properties you want to verify? Select those properties. And next step, define expected value. Expected values for each property, for each selected property. In constant text box, in constant field. Where you have to define? In constant field. See here, there is a constant field here. In this constant field, we have to define expected value for each selected property. And finally, define wait timeout. Waiting timeout value. Timeout value in seconds. And click OK button. So these are the steps you have to do to create a standard checkpoint. Okay, clear guys? Now let us do that. I'm clicking OK button now. See that it will insert one statement in QTP test panel. Where it is inserted, stop the recording. Where it is inserted, see, look at that statement, this statement. It is a statement inserted now. See, dot check is the method. Dot check is the method. And to this method, what is the input it is passing? See that checkpoint, name of the checkpoint. check customer name chk. This is the name we defined in the checkpoint name field inside checkpoint properties window. So for this check method, the checkpoint name we are passing, it is passing as input. So inside this checkpoint, what properties we selected? Two properties I selected. And for those two properties, we defined two expected values. Understand? So whenever you create a checkpoint by selecting few properties and by defining expected values for all those check properties. And when you create a checkpoint, the selected properties and defined expected values will be saved in the repository file. Whatever the properties that you selected and whatever the values that we have defined for those properties will be stored in the repository file. See that where this checkpoint will be saved. Go to resources, object repository. Locate that here, checkpoint and output objects. See what is the name of the checkpoint we defined? Customer name chk. That is the name of the checkpoint. So in this checkpoint, we selected two properties, checked and enabled. And for these two properties, we define the expected values of and true. So these values and properties, whatever we selected and whatever the expected values we defined for those selected properties will be saved in a repository file. In which repository file? In local repository file. We can move this into shared repository if you want. If you want to copy this checkpoint into the shared repository file, we can do that. We can do drag and drop into the shared repository file. That is possible. All of you clear? So whenever you create a checkpoint, the checkpoint will be saved inside repository file. By default, it will be saved in the local repository file. All of you clear? So in this checkpoint, it is saving the properties what we selected and the expected values what we defined for each selected property. Now see, this checkpoint is passed as input to this check method. To this check method, check is the method which will execute the checkpoint. So inside this checkpoint, we have saved these two properties and these two expected values. So this check method will verify what is the value of checked property in the application for this object. What object? For that customer name object. Similarly, what is the enable value for this customer name object in the application? So these two properties should match. If these two properties are matching, then the checkpoint will be passed. It will report pass status. If any one property is not matching, then it will report fail status. So now I can comment these two lines now. These two statements are not required now. This single statement will verify two validations, two properties verifications. It will execute now. All of you clear? See, let us see. Similarly, I can create one more checkpoint for this second checkbox as well. Here, what is this? Or I can reuse same checkpoint. I can reuse same checkpoint with these all objects as well. See, I can simply copy this statement. It will execute, I guess, without any problem. We no need to create again. See, I want to verify same properties. I want to verify same two properties with the same expected values. So I can reuse same checkpoint here. I'm copying here, say same statement. And I will remove this statement. One statement is enough. And similarly here also, I will copy same statement. And I will remove this second statement. All of you clear, guys? See why we are reusing same checkpoint? For this checkbox also, we want to verify same properties and same expected values. There's no difference. So that's why I'm applying same checkpoint for these two checkboxes as well. Now let me run. Let us see that how these checkpoints are running. Close this window. Save it. See that it is passed. Look at that now. Open our dialog box. This is our first checkpoint. Look at that. Checkpoint 1. See, we are checking two properties. Checked is off, enabled is true. And the second checkpoint, flight, what is that? Flight date. Here also we are checking two properties. So you look at that. Again, order number. Again, here also we are checking two properties. Now I will make one property failed here. Let us see that. That means we can edit this checkpoint. After creating the checkpoint, if I want to do any changes in the expected values or in the property selection, I can do that modifications after creating the checkpoint. Simply select, right click on this checkpoint statement. Just simply right click on this and select here checkpoint properties option. Now see here, I am giving here on as my expected value on. That means I am expecting that checkbox should be selected. So I'm applying same checkpoint for all three checkboxes. For these three checkboxes, we are using same checkpoint. So definitely these three objects checkpoints will be, this checkpoint will be, should be failed, it should be failed, it should be also failed. All of you clear? Now let me run it now with failed case. See, now it will be waiting 5 seconds because we have given 5 seconds or 10 seconds waiting time. See, it is waiting. Now look at the results. See, these three checkbox validations are failed. Look at that. First checkbox. See, it is failed. The first property is failed. See, look at it. The red color value, it is actual value. See, actual. This is expected. Look at that. It is displaying the tooltip message. If it is actual value and this is expected value. Similarly for the second checkbox as well. See, of actual, expected. Similarly for third checkbox. Actual, expected. All of you clear? So like this, we can use standard checkpoints to verify more than one property in the script. If you want to verify for the same object more than one property value, then we can go with checkpoint, standard checkpoint. Okay guys, let us take some 10 minutes break, then we will continue our session. Okay. Yeah. I will be back at now it is 4:45, maybe 4:55. Okay. 10 minutes. Yeah. Hi, all. Everybody is there? Shiva, Chandu.
Yeah.
Chandu is there. Shiva? Okay, just let's wait for 2 more minutes.
ప్రసాద్ ఈ స్క్రిప్ట్స్ అన్ని సైట్ లో పెడుతున్నావా?
Scripts, no, Chandu. I will send this mail.
Okay.
Okay, document, right? Whatever I'm preparing document, I will send that in separate mail. And these scripts and all things you can see in the video, and we have to do that practice. Or if you want, I can share the scripts files also. Not a problem. I can share that all script files. Maybe I can send in zip file. I can do that.
No, just to send that notepads. Notepads in enough.
Yeah, that's what I will send this. What is it? Yeah, all script files I can share. VBS files and also VBS files I already shared. All text files I sent, and this QTP scripts I will share. Node.jari I have to do that today. I will do that one. I will install that UFT 12.05 today. But Shiva is there. Shiva came back. It's not at just 1 more minute. 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock we'll let it start.
Prasad, how is the market now outside?
Chandu, that's what, right? If you no, it is mandatory now. If you are trying in testing, definitely it is a mandatory now to add some automation skill in your profile. Otherwise, right, you don't get opportunities. Definitely, I'm seeing right many guys with only manual testing experience, with 7-8 years of experience, really not getting any calls only in manual testing. But if you add automation some skills, definitely if you add in your profile even as a lead position, also not a problem. That means you should say that you can handle or you can lead manual testing and automation testing projects, and you can say that I already have some experience in leading automation projects. That means you can say that you are not directly involving in the coding and all, but you know all automation concepts, and that means you can do all automation lead activities. That means involving in something high level activities instead of coding. Like that also we can expose. That means if you have more experience and if you are strong in manual testing, or if you want to write add automation as a something additional value add, some additional value add to your profile by adding automation skills, then you can say that you are not involving in hard coded coding, but you are taking responsibility of leading the automation projects. Under you there is some automation team, they are working in coding and all, and you will be involving in what is that feasibility analysis, automation test plan creation, automation strategy creation, and also preparation of ROI reports and updating the status to client. And if there is any issues, only then you will be looking into that. And you can have some good idea of high level idea, good idea understanding of automation frameworks. If you have these kind of thing right, then you can manage easily as a lead if you have a 9-10 years of experience. That is that's how we can right move further. But
Okay.
if you have really some hands-on coding experience also, that will be really helpful to you. Yeah, that means then you can say that you will be involving if there is any technical issues, you will be supporting the team, you will be resolving the issues, like that you can say, if you have any good practical coding knowledge. Yeah.
Hacker,
Hmm.
hello. Did you met any Abita yes or wife recently? How is she?
Hello, I'm not getting it, can you repeat again?
Ah, Shekhar, Shekhar. Did you met Kabita yes or wife in recently November? Or she is doing?
No, your voice is not audible, brother. I'm
Okay.
unable to hear your voice.
Okay, Shiva
Okay. Did
joined
you met?
back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, your voice is not clear. Okay, now just let us continue. Shiva also joined back. Fine. See, now we have seen how to create and how to use standard checkpoint. Okay. Now let us see next validation. How to do validations on radio buttons. Radio buttons validation. We can take our normal example. Here itself we have. Yeah, here itself. See, all these three radio buttons are disabled. I want to check that. How you can verify that? Class radio buttons are disabled. So what property you can use? Simply check property method. Using check property, what property we can use, which property you have to use to verify enable property. Same thing in object spy, we can look into that. The radio buttons, see, enabled is there. Similarly, checked is there. Similar to checkbox. Checked means selected, that whether that radio button is selected or not. Checked property. Enable property we can use to verify that enable that a radio button is enabled or disabled. So same like a checkbox. So the radio buttons verification is same as checkbox. Correct? So radio buttons verification is same as checkbox. We can use checked and enable properties. And enable properties. Enable properties. Okay, so that is simple thing, so I'm not going to show that. Now let us say that verify error messages. How to verify error messages, it is important. How to automate verifications. We already have one script. What is that script? Let us take invalid login, or let us take data flight as well. Data flight also we can check data flight error messages. Suppose if without entering the data flight, if you try to select fly from, see that it displays a message, please enter a flight date. Suppose if I enter invalid month in the first field, say that I am entering 13 and 12 15. 13 is a month, 13 month is not there, so it is invalid. So it shows invalid month entered. The month must be greater than 01 and less than 12. See, this message should be displayed. Suppose if you enter invalid day, month is right, invalid, but day is invalid. That means if I enter 32, there is no 32 day, so it should display invalid day entered. The date should be valid for the given month. Are you clear? So like this, we can verify. I want to verify these date of flight error messages. So now let me create a script for automating date of flight error messages. I'm going to save as, I'm taking this as a save as script, because the structure will be same. The test descriptions, declarations, and all same repository file I'm going to use here. So same repository and same run action, login action, same external action. So that's why every time I'm using save as. Save as. What is the name of the script? FR05. It is a data flight orders. Data flight errors. Just modify the description, the script name. Data flight errors. Verify what it will do. Just give the description. Data flight field error messages. That is the validation. So what we have to do here, the steps. Let me remove all these things. First we have to log in. That is a mandatory. So what is the next step? Click new button. Click new order button. Next step, enter invalid data flight. And next try to select fly from value. Now verify. Now it should display error message. Verify error message box is displayed first. Error message box is displayed. If it is displayed, then verify error message inside that message box. Verify error message. And next close that error message box. After verifying, I want to close that error message box. And okay, that is what. So these are the steps that we have to automate in this test case. Save it. So like this, it is always right good practice while creating the script. We should have to add the description. Again, I'm repeating, and add all variable declarations at the beginning, top. And one more thing. There is one more thing. One more statement we can add. Option explicit. This statement we can add as a good practice. What is the statement will do? It will make all variables declarations mandatory. If you don't add this statement, we no need to declare the variables. No need to declare. If you don't write this statement, option explicit statement in the script, then variables can be used directly without declaration. No issues in VB script. But if you add this statement at the beginning of the program, option explicit statement, then every variable should be declared. Otherwise, it will throw error message. That is the use of option explicit. As a good practice, we should have to declare every variable before using. It is a good practice of scripting. So to make every variable declaration mandatory, we are adding this statement, option explicit. If you don't add this statement, it won't throw error. Even if you don't declare any variable, it won't throw any error in VB script. But if you add this statement, it will throw error if you miss to declare any variable in the program, in the script. Okay. And then variable declarations, and then write all the steps what should be automated in the test case as a comments like this. Then start automating step by step. Okay. Now let us see that. First step, click new order button, drag and drop that new order button. This is the new order button. drag and drop it. Done. Next step, enter data flight, invalid data flight. Enter some value first. Invalid data flight object. Drag and drop that. Here we have to type some value, and then next we have to select fly from value also. Select fly from. Where is that fly from? Yeah, combo box. That. Next, verify error message is displayed. What is error message? Okay, if you enter invalid something, then try to select some value. This message box. So we have to verify error message displayed in this dialog box. After that, we have to click OK button to close the dialog box. So we should have to add these two objects. This message element and this button object should be added into the repository file. Click add button. First click on this message anywhere. That message should be captured. See, that message name is error message. I will give. It is a label LBL error label. Okay, error message label. Next, what is the next object? OK button. Add OK button. btn underscore OK. Done. And it is a dialog box name. dlg underscore. What is dialog box? I can say error dialog. Error dialog. I'm defining error dialog. Clear, guys? I have added that error dialog box objects. Dialog box is added, error message element is added, and OK button is added into the repository file and save it. Now, what is our next step? We have to verify that error message box is displayed or not. What is a statement we have to use? Exist statement. Exist. We have to use exist. In 10 seconds. This statement should be inside if condition. If dialog box exists, then what we have to do? We have to run these validations, all these validations. Else, we have to report error message box is not displayed. That should be reported. Reported dot report event mic fail. Verify error dialog is displayed, and error dialog is not displayed. It is a failed message. For pass message, error message dialog box is displayed. We have to display that also. We have to report pass status as well. So that should be written here inside this if condition. It is pass. And make it is not displayed, it is displayed. We have to display the messages as displayed. Now, what is the next verification? Verify error message inside the dialog box. See, now this is important. So this message you have to verify. So this element, this label element is already added in the repository file. Go to that. It is the error message label. So inside this error message label, what is the message displayed? That is what we have to verify. So inside this error message label, what is the message or what is the text displayed? So let us see that what is the property for this message. Let us see that property value in object spy for this label, static label. What is the property? Text. What is the property? Text is the property. So that message is assigned to text property for that label element. So that this text value we have to verify. The text property we have to verify. All of you clear? So we can use, let us try with the check property. Check property method first. Check property. What is the property we have to verify? Text property. What is the expected value? Let us copy that. Expected value. Open object spy and spy that message. Now copy that value. Select here. So this is the value. I'm copying that value. Right click, copy. I copied that value, text value. See, now I'm defining that value as, yeah, okay. Expected message. This is our expected message. This is a message we're expecting to display in that label. All of you clear? And I want to wait for that 5000 milliseconds in case of a mismatching. In case of mismatching. All of you clear? See, I'm using here check property method and the text property we are verifying. For this text property, what is the expected message? Invalid day entered. The date should be valid for given month. When this message should be displayed, if I enter here in the data flight field, if I enter, what is the statement to enter? Type is the method, because it is a win object object. It is not a win edit. That's why we are using here type. What is the value we have to type? Date should be valid 12, but month is valid, date is invalid 32, day is invalid, and year also valid 15. All of you clear? 12, 32, 15. So 32 is the day, so that is invalid day. So in that case, it should display this message. Okay. See, dot, everything should be there. Spaces, dots, everything will be verified. And even case sensitive. Now, how it verifies? The actual message should be matching with this message, including capital letters, small letters, message, blank spaces, full stops, everything should match. Only then this text property will be passed. Suppose if there is some extra space is there in the actual error message, or instead of a capital letter, if it is a small letter, see here, suppose if it is small letter in the actual message, then it will fail. Now let us see that. I will show you that one. Okay, all of you clear? Now we are verifying that error message by using check property method and the text property. And for this text property, we define the expected error message, and the waiting time we defined as 5000 milliseconds. And then I'm not closing the dialog box time being. Okay, now save that script. Now let me run. Now let us see that. Sorry, here fly from, we should select, right? Fly from, give some value. London, I'm trying to select London. Fly from value, some value, we should try to select the value. Only then error message will come. Now I'm running the script. Now let us see this validation. What is happening? Right, data flight objects parent open order dialog is not found. Is something wrong? Oh, sorry, I have dragged wrong object, data flight object. See, sorry, I have dragged flight date object inside open order dialog box. This object is wrong, right? That is wrong. Okay, that's why I have to drag data flight object inside flight reservation window, not inside open order dialog box. 1 second. I have dragged this object, I guess, inside opener dialog box. I have dragged this object. That is wrong. I should drag this object inside flight reservation window. I should have to drag this object. That's why we're getting that error. Then use same method. Type. Now remove this statement. Okay. Now save it and run. It should run. Okay, now see that it is matching. The error message is matching. So it is passed without any issues. Look at that. Error dialog is displayed, and inside that error message verification is passed. Now see that I will do one small change in the expected error message. Just look at that. This is our expected error message. If I remove this dot, I removed here dot in the expected error message. Now run the script. Save it. Run. See, now it is waiting because that error message is not matching now. Now it is failed. Why it is failed now? Dot is the problem. Dot is a mismatch. See here, there is a dot here, and in our expected message there is no dot. Here this is our expected message. Here there is no dot, but this is our actual message where dot is there. Okay, fine. Let us see now. One more change I will do. Now I will keep this dot as it is. Now I will add one extra space here. I have added one more extra space, or I will remove that space. Anything, either adding some additional space or removing existing space. That means only space is the problem. White space is the problem, but remaining text is matching. But only blank space is the problem. Understand? Now copy that. Now run the script again. Now also it will be failed because number of blank spaces is different. Here now also it is waiting 5 seconds. It should fail. Now again it is failed. Now why it is failed? Because of the additional space, extra space. See, in our expected message here there is some additional space is there, but in actual message there is no additional space. Fine. Now I will keep blank space also as it is. Yeah, it will be fine, but still sometimes, right, in the application it may change. In the next release, whenever you are running the script in the new release, developers might have done some changes. Developers might have added some additional spaces either at the beginning of the string or at the end of the string message. Developers might have added some additional spaces. There is a chance there might be some additional spaces added at the end of the message in the application. But in our expected message, you may not be having additional spaces in the expected message. Then the verification will be failed. But see, the message is correct. The message is displayed correctly, perfectly, including blank spaces and dots, commas, everything. Everything is displayed perfectly. But see, now I am changing capital E into small e. Say I have entered small e here. Everything is perfect. Number of spaces is right. Dots also right. Everything is right. But the only difference is the small letter. Instead of capital letter, small letter is displayed. Then what will happen? The verification. See that. See, again it is waiting. That means it is failed, mismatching. Why it is mismatching now? There is no difference in the blank spaces. There is no difference in the text characters. All characters are matching, but only the difference is here E is capital letter. See, in the actual message, where is actual? This is the actual message. It is capital E, but here it is small e. That is the only difference. But remaining everything text is matching, but it is getting failed. But sometimes you may have to ignore while running your automation script. Suppose if you are running the test case manually, you may be ignoring this. You may not raise the defect for this. You may ignore that small deviation in the actual and expected values, and you will be passing the test case. Understand? Then how you can do that in automation? If you are running automation script and if you have automated this verification by using this check property method, what it will do? It will fail the script. Is it right? It is failing the script. It is not passing the script. But why? I don't want to bother about case sensitive, whether it is small letter or capital letter, or I don't want bother about extra spaces, additional spaces in the message. So how I can skip these comparisons, additional space comparisons, or something? What is that? Sometimes, right? You may get some other different types of error message. What is that message is? See, for example, sometimes this message may contain or it may display some dynamic value. See, this first statement may be same, but in the second statement there might be some dynamically changing. The first statement alone will be constant always. Invalid day entered. That will be always constant. But the second sentence might be, suppose, assume that here it is not changing, but assume that if the second statement is changing, second sentence is changing every time. First sentence is not changing, but second sentence is changing every time. Whenever I enter invalid day in the data flight field, it is displaying the message, but that message is not always constant. It is dynamically changing. But in that mirror message, only first sentence is always constant, but the second sentence is not constant. It contains some dynamic values, dynamic text. Some error messages will be displayed like that. So if it is the case, then how you can verify that error message? How you can verify a dynamic value? We don't know what is the value displayed dynamically. See, I don't bother about dynamic value validation. It can display any value, but I want to make sure that the first sentence is correctly displayed. I don't bother about the second sentence. I don't want to verify the second sentence. I want to verify only the first sentence. Invalid day entered is displayed or not. And the rest of the text can be anything. I don't bother about that. So how you can do this kind of verifications, error messages verifications? By using check property method, definitely it is not possible. Understand? If you use check property method, how it is comparing? It is comparing character to character. The number of characters in the actual message and in expected message should be same. And if the capital letter is a capital letter, in expected message also it should be capital letter. If it is a small letter, it should be small letter. Understand? Even if it is a difference, instead of capital letter if it displays small letter, or instead of small letter if it displays a capital letter, the check property method will fail that verification. Similarly, if there is any additional spaces, it will fail the verification. Understand? That means the check property method verifies the whole text. It won't verify partial text. Understand? It is not possible to verify only first sentence using check property method. Using check property method, you can verify the whole text. You can verify the full message. Only that is possible. You cannot verify only first sentence in this error message. By using check property method, it is not possible. All of you clear? Now, to automate this kind of text verifications, partial text verifications, or case insensitive comparisons verifications, that means I don't want bother about the case whether it is a capital letter or small letter. I want to verify the message text value. The text value is matching or not. It can be a small letter or capital letter. I don't want bother about that. I want to ignore that. And similarly, I don't want bother about the additional spaces. I want to ignore all the blank spaces characters in the comparison. There can be any number of blank spaces. That is not the matter. So like this, if you want to verify text in the application, we can't use check property method. Understand? Now we should use text. We have to use text checkpoint. There is one checkpoint in the QTP, text checkpoint, but unfortunately the text checkpoint will not work properly in Windows 7 operating system. There is a problem. The Windows 7 has some security problem. It won't allow QTP tool. It won't allow the QTP tool to read the text from the Windows applications. It won't allow. That means it will block QTP API commands to extract the text from the applications from any window. The Windows 7 operating system, it won't accept, it won't allow the QTP API commands. So if you run or if you try to create a text checkpoint in QTP, it will crash your QTP tool. Okay, there is some technical issue. It is not a technical issue, it is a security issue, security blocking. That means Win 7 is more secure than Windows XP. So in Win 7, this problem is there in using text checkpoint. Okay, without using text checkpoint, if I want to do this, how you can do this kind of validations? If you can use text checkpoint, in text checkpoint, there we have all these facilities. All these facilities means we can do case sensitive. Case sensitive, we can ignore the case and we can ignore the blank spaces. These facilities, these options are available in the text checkpoint. Understand? Similarly, I can verify only first sentence. I can ignore the second sentence. So these kind of comparisons or validations we can do by using text checkpoint. All of you clear? But time being, I cannot, I think so. If I will try once again. If you can create a text checkpoint, then really good. Mostly 90% it will not accept. Let us try one time. If it is not working, then we don't try second time. Now let us try that. Let me create a text checkpoint. So where is that checkpoint statement I have written? Here, right? Yeah. Now let us see that. Click record button. Go to insert checkpoint. See text checkpoint. Go to the text checkpoint option.